it's vital that we stop this climate change happening. And to stop it happening, we've got to stop using fossil fuels. We've got to phase them out right now. Oh, okay. Coal seam gas is still not a good idea because the methane leaks from around the gas wells, and methane is 72 times worse in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. So both these things need to be phased out right away. We have the technology right now to provide concentrated solar thermal power stations right around Australia, and also partnered with wind turbines, so we could have sort of 50-50. So if there's not enough sun, then the wind will take over and vice versa. And if you haven't got any sun or any wind, which is pretty unusual in this large continent of ours, you can use a little bit of biofuel just to fill in. Well, the Greens stand for environmental protection and a fairer society. And sometimes I think you've just got to vote for your principles and stand up for what you believe in. Well, the Greens in New South Wales do not take any donations from any corporations at all, whereas the other parties do. We're not going to jeopardise our reputation by taking money from corporations, and that means that we're not beholden to anybody. We can do what we want to do and what we think is right. Well, I'm going to go around talking to a lot of people, as many people as I can. I'm going to hold stalls. I'm going to go around all the retirement villages. We have a lot of retirement villages in this area. I emigrated from England in 1969, and I was very lucky to land in this area. And I've been living here ever since and working in the community. I worked as a nurse in the community for 20 odd years, and I've done volunteer work for 20 years with the community aid because I just love it. And then my husband and I started up a business producing and distributing educational films, and so I helped him run that for 21 years too. I made a submission to the government about the Cobra mine, which is in Dunedoo, just outside Dunedoo, and I was invited to speak at the Planning Assessment Committee meeting, which I did do. And then another time I did a submission about the Terminal 4 in Newcastle. They want to make a huge new terminal up there, so I did a submission and I was invited to speak at that meeting, and I spoke at that one as well. Well, as I said, I've been doing community aid for 20 years, which I love, and it's my little bit of nursing because I had to give up nursing to work in our business. But I do love helping people. I've always been a helper. Well, I think we need to change the rules on the 1050 Code of Practice, which allows people who live now 30 metres from bushland for the Category 2 or 100 metres from Category 1 bushland. They're allowed to cut down trees up to 10 metres away from their house and clear the bush up to 50 metres. Now, if we all did that, there wouldn't be any trees left, and we just might as well go and live in the city. So I think the trees are being cleared for the wrong reason. I just want to make a happier future for our children, our grandchildren, all the generations that are coming, because if we don't stop burning fossil fuels, it's going to be a horrible future for them, and it doesn't have to be. So I just want a much better future for our children to pass on to our children.
We're really concerned about the environment, and one of the biggest things is climate change.
Oh, I don't know. Why do I really enjoyed it because we decided to go on this action where we had to leave at 2 o'clock in the morning and grow go cross country to the mine because all the roads were blocked by the police. So we were led by 3 or 4 young people. So they shepherded us across these fields and through the forests, and it all had to be dead quiet, and we weren't allowed to have torches or make any sort of noises. And then eventually at 6 o'clock in the morning we arrived at the edge of the mine site, and we walked onto the mine site. Anyway, we went on the site and we started digging holes and planting seedlings of trees to try and replace the ones that they'd just knocked down illegally. And anyway, eventually the police were called, and they brought their paddy wagons, and they said, look, we're terribly sorry, but we have to do our job, and we are going to have to arrest you, but it won't be a really bad fine or anything. You'll just get a fine, so you won't have to go to court. So anyway, they took as long as they could to take us away, and there was being 35 and they only had 2 paddy wagons, so we went off in groups of 3 or 4, and they were very kind. They took us back to our camp and dropped us off there so we didn't have to walk back again.
Right. So Felicity, why are you standing for the Greens?
Okay, if you want more other questions, please.
Okay, and what's your feeling about what should be done about climate change? I hope I'm nodding at the right
You're
occasions.
right, that's fine.
And so, how do you feel people can make a difference by voting Green? Are you right with that?
That's right, and how long have you been in the area?
Oh yeah. So you're standing as a candidate for Pittwater. What are your connections with this area?
That's good.
Okay.
And
And then we'll do one more.
so the upper house.
Or I'll do the Moores Creek. Moores Creek, maybe.
Yeah, Moores Creek, yeah.
So you've been up to Moores Creek several times. Tell me a little bit more about that. Okay.
What about this crossing? How do you feel crossing the line against the law when you're a law-abiding citizen? Something like that. Didn't fully answer it.
How does it feel as a law-abiding citizen to face arrest with other protesters?
Can't think of anything else.
Yeah, no, that'll do.